Restoring Men in History, the next 16, Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, from the Mark John article, Inspiring Journal. He pulled it together. Again, we're going to go into this. Number 16, overcaution. The person who takes no chances generally has to take whatever is left when others are through choosing. Overcaution is as bad as undercaution. Both are extremes to be guarded against. Life itself is filled with the element of chance. Look, he's right. Life's full of chance. You men got to take risk. We're not going to stay on this forever. But if you want to get past what was the previous point in the first video, mediocrity. If you don't want to be mediocre, you're probably going to have to take some risk. Right? You want to make films, you're probably going to have to take some risk. Or I don't know what you want to do. If you want to do a startup, you're probably going to have to take some risk. Number 17, wrong selection of associates in business. This is one of the most common causes of failure in business. Look, it's kind of like picking a wife. I think you got to have some similar virtues and values, but that's just me. You do what you want with a business partner. But let's talk about this. First, he's talking about getting a job. In marketing services, one should use great care to select an employer who will be an inspiration. So if you're going to work a job, he's saying get somebody who'll be an inspiration, who is himself intelligent and successful, because you might emulate those. We emulate those with whom we associate most closely. We've talked about that. Pick an employer who's worth emulating. Now, I'll just add this. If you're going to go into business or start a business with somebody else, I would like to have some similar virtues and values. And it's kind of like picking a wife. And I'll tell you another point. Like to have somebody that I get along with that's not some of those other qualities, right? So if I was picking a partner, I wouldn't pick a negative person. Because part of life, and this is, we could do a whole video on this, is the journey. We don't know what was going to happen. We don't know the outcome. So whom you go through life, whether it's your wife or whether it's your business partner, is important, because it's the journey of the deals, right? What deals do I remember most? The deals where I had the fun on them and we closed them, right? If it was a really bad customer, I'm probably not going to reflect well on that, or the people were just nasty. So I would like to pick a pleasant, agreeable partner that we get along with well, and we're going to have fun together and enjoy the journey, because that's part of it, right? Someone you can enjoy the journey with. Number 18, superstition and prejudice. We won't stay here long. Superstition is a form of fear. It is also a sign of ignorance. Men who succeed keep open minds and are afraid of nothing. We're going to keep going. Keep an open mind. Don't be afraid of things. Don't let fear dominate you. Number 19, wrong selection of a vocation. No man can succeed in a line of endeavor which he does not like. Well, there's been many studies on this. The most essential step is the marketing, is that of selecting an occupation which you know you can throw yourself into wholeheartedly, he says. So I think there's many reasons to pick a job. I get what he's saying, and I do believe in passion, and I do believe that helps you go from mediocre to great if you pick something you like. I've done things I don't like and done incredibly well at it. And there might be a reason that you have to take a job to build more skills at before you get to the thing you like, or meet people you need to meet, or survive, finding a good mentor, be around great people. So you might pick a company where you're around great people and learning from them, or learning from your boss, he just said. So yeah, I do believe passion really helps you. You can succeed in things you don't like, because you could have the strategy of, I'm going to do something I don't like and make a lot of money and then do something else, right? So there's many strategies and many ways to do this, but I do understand and relate to what he's saying. I do believe you'll be more committed if you really love it and you're passionate about it, and you'll be able to throw yourself into it, dedicate yourself to it. Number 20, lack of concentration of effort. This is kind of a good to great thing again. The jack of all trades seldom is good at any. Concentrate all your efforts on one definite chief aim. Now, we kind of agree with this. And Andrew Carnegie said this: the way to become rich is to put all your eggs in one basket and then watch that basket. What are you doing? Good to Great talked about it. If you're focused on one thing and you have a chief aim, you're probably going to get better at it too, right? You're spending more time and energy, and there's that book Outliers. We won't go into that, but 10,000 hours. So you'll put time and energy and money into something, you're probably going to get better at it. Or if you don't get better at it, you know to get out of it, right? You could learn you don't like it, you hate it. And then again, it's not your passion and you're not very good at it. So you got to get out. So if you put all your time into it at the beginning, you'll find out rather quickly. So there's great possibility there. 21, the habit of indiscriminate spending. All right, he's basically talking about save money, be prepared for a rainy day. I'm not going to read this one. Be prepared. It gives you power too, right? If you don't like a job, you can quit it. You've got savings and you're not liking your job, you can quit. If you've got a lot of savings, you possibly start a small business. So He's talking about saving. Don't spend money crazily. Don't be a spendthrift, just crazy spending. 22, lack of enthusiasm. Now, this is huge. I believe enthusiasm is important. That's why it's great to love what you do. Now, he says enthusiasm is contagious and one cannot be convincing without it. And the person who has it under control is generally welcome in any group of people. Totally agree. I want to be around enthusiastic people. I like them. I like to be enthusiastic, right? If you don't believe it, who else will? If you're not fired up about it, who's going to get fired up about it, right? If you've got a goal and a mission and you're not even enthusiastic about it, who's going to get fired up about it? You come in an office and say, well, I kind of want to make films. Or you say this, I want to make the most fantastic action film of the year. And I know how to do it. And it's because it's this and this. We got this great action scene, and the characters are developed and they're great, and it's a brand new, right? If you're enthusiastic, it's going to translate. Think about passionate people. People that love things instead of hate things. People that love what they're doing. People that are enthusiastic to see you. Excited to do things. Get excited to go out and do things. Get excited to go to a cigar bar or whatever they're doing, but they get excited about things. Those people are more fun to be around, right? Than like, okay, I guess I'll go, right? You want excited and enthusiastic people to be around. 23, intolerance. The person with a closed mind on any subject seldom gets ahead. Intolerance means that one has stopped acquiring knowledge. We always want to be acquiring. Well, at least that's one of my goals. I don't know what your goal is. I shouldn't say that. I like to be acquiring knowledge. The most damaging forms of intolerance are those connected with religious, racial, and political differences of opinion. I know myself, I think I can always learn something, and I can always get better. So I like to always be learning. ABL, always be growing too. Tony Robbins talked about constant and never-ending improvement, K9. So when he talks about K9, he's talking about constant, never-ending improvement. Now, I don't know if that's your thing, but I've seen some people on social media and other places get very mad and in meetings, so angry, so fast that it's disturbing, and say negative, hostile things when it was just it could have been a discussion, not a hostile argument, right? Number 24, intemperance. The most damaging forms of intemperance are connected with eating, strong drink, and sexual activities. Okay, so overindulgence of any of these he's talking about is fatal. Again, this is something you control. You've seen it. Gluttony is an American problem. Obesity leads to heart disease and all kinds of trouble. And heart disease is the number one, I think, disease that is preventable. Number one cause of death that is preventable, right? I believe. 25, inability to cooperate with others. More people lose their positions and their big opportunities in life because of this fault. This is so true. And again, I've seen it in the meetings. I've seen it in corporate America. I've seen it everywhere. There's a lot of people that can't cooperate with people. It is a fault which no well-informed businessman or leader will tolerate. So this is important. It happens. I've seen it. It's a huge skill if you can cooperate with others. 26, possession of power that was not acquired through self-effort. So, sons and daughters of wealthy men, he's talking about, others who inherit money, which they did not inherit, power in the hands of one who did not acquire it gradually, right? So quick power, quick riches are more dangerous than poverty, he says. So people who get there get a position from, they might get a high position coming right out of school, they might get a higher position because of their parents, or they might have massive wealth, and they might get in a powerful position where they wield great power without learning how to do it, and they reached it so rapidly that they kind of feel arrogant and superior to people, right? And don't know how to use it and wield it. So that could be a problem. 27, intentional dishonesty. There's no substitute for honesty. One may be temporarily dishonest by force of circumstance over which no one has permanent control, but without permanent damage. But there's no hope for the person who is dishonest by choice. Sooner or later, it'll catch up to him. Okay, we get that. 28, I'm trying to get through these. Egotism and vanity, I think that's a big one. These qualities serve as red lights to warn others to keep away true, right? You don't want to be around totally egotistical person who's completely vain. Never asks you a question about yourself, never listens, only talks about himself, and only brags about himself, right? You've seen that. Totally arrogant. Number 29, guessing instead of thinking. There's plenty of ways to do research today. You can research things and find out and do a little homework. So he's talking about most people are too indifferent or lazy to acquire facts which to think accurately. They prefer to act on opinions created by guesswork. So you got a lot of information out there. You can take a little time to do some research and be ahead. 30, lack of capital. So if you don't have enough capital, that could be a cause for failure. You're starting out in the first time for business and you don't have enough. But what did we say earlier? You still got to get going. But try to have a little, we build in the budgets to have a contingency fee whenever I do a business plan. And I'll put 30% contingency in there. Some books and papers say to put double your budget. So here's the point in business. Probably not going to think of something. Something probably is going to come up that costs you more than you anticipated. Something that you didn't think about is probably going to come up. So over budget. If you're raising money for something, put a contingency fee in. And at the start of events, they talked about this as well. Most people don't raise enough money when they start. Here's the last one, 31. Under this, name any particular cause of failure from which you have suffered that has not been included in this foregoing list, Napoleon Hill. So now, here's your homework and assignment. What else has held you back personally in life, man? What could be a cause of failure that's prevented you from doing that business or getting that job or reaching your goals in the gym or whatever it is? Write that down. Reflect upon it. Review it. Thank you.